Hey everyone. Thankful for this opportunity to speak to y'all tonight, and hopefully this can be encouraging to everyone. So tonight I want to briefly talk about the steadfast love of God. And that Hebrew word is the word hesed. I'm sure many of you have heard that word, but I just want to briefly talk about that and the depth of that word tonight. So translators use various words and phrases to interpret the word hesed. Some versions use mercy, kindness, loving kindness, others steadfast love or faithful love. Defining hesed is incredibly difficult because of how rich the word is. But here's some different definitions to help us comprehend it. So one is the enduring active love between God and his chosen people, Israel. It's God's inexhaustible love and purpose that outlives his exhaustible wrath. And it encompasses the idea of love, loyalty, and his covenantal faithfulness. And the word hesed is found over 240 times in the Old Testament from Genesis to Zechariah. So now I just want to look at some key scriptures that talk about God and the connection to the steadfast love. So number one, God is love. And the passage here is Exodus 34, 6 and 7. And I'm going to go through some passages quickly. So y'all don't have to turn to those if you don't want to. But like I said, I'm going to be moving pretty quickly through them. So in Exodus 34, 6 and 7, God describes who he is to Moses. And he does not first describe himself by power, judgment, or distance. He declares himself compassionate, gracious, patient, and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. God's steadfast love is central to who he is. As John says, God is love. And number two, God's steadfast love endures forever. The passage here is Psalm 136. Psalm 136 repeats the declaration, "For his steadfast love endures forever," after every single line. The repetition teaches us to see every part of God's work, creation, deliverance, provision, protection, and rescue, as a manifestation of his hesed, his steadfast love. Number three, God's steadfast love gives hope in hard circumstances. I have here Lamentations 3. I'm not going to read anything from that, but Lamentations was written in the shadow of grief, loss, and devastation. Yet in the middle of sorrow, the writer declares that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. This means hope is not based on how stable life feels to us, but on how faithful God is. God's steadfast love endures through darkness, sin, and doubt. Number four, God delights in steadfast love. Micah 7:18. I am going to read this one. It says, "Who is a God like you, pardoning iniquity and passing over transgression for the remnant of his inheritance? He does not retain his anger forever because he delights in steadfast love." So here I think it's important to emphasize that God doesn't save man reluctantly. Showing hesed is not something God does grudgingly or of obligation. He delights in showing steadfast love to his people. And finally, God shows hesed when man needs it most. So now I'm going to list some different instances when God or man speak of God's hesed in the scriptures. Number one, we got at the golden calf, when God relented from destroying Israel. That can be found in Exodus 34. Number two, we have when the children of Israel listened to the 10 spies. That's in Numbers 14. You have when David was guilty of sin. You have in Psalm 51 him going to God and appealing for his loving kindness that is there. And at number four, we got when Jeremiah lamented in the destruction of Jerusalem. That can be found in Lamentations 3. And when God sent Jesus into the world, Romans 5, 6 through 10. And when we were dead in sin, Ephesians 2, 1 through 7. The sending of Jesus to die for us is the ultimate manifestation of God's steadfast love for us. God's steadfast love remains for anyone here who is dead in sin. If you are of an age where you realize you are dead in sin and have not come to God through Jesus, why not do so tonight? If you believe in Jesus, turn from your sins, confess Jesus, and are baptized, then you can be saved by the steadfast love of God. If you have any spiritual need, come forward as we stand and sing.